Hi, I'm Jake, and I've been drawing Pokemon since I was 7 years old. Today's video is something new. When I was trying to figure out what I could do next for the channel, I was scrolling back through my old Procreate files and found something from 2019 that I thought would be interesting to do as a challenge. I'd just drawn some random scribbles and I thought, what can I see in these scribbles to make into monsters? But now I thought that I'd change them into Fakemon. So I'm going to revamp the originals from 2019 and also do some more scribbling. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, stick around to the end of the video. I thought I should announce that I've also made my own Discord server, so if that sounds like something you'd be interested in joining to discuss my Fakemon, your Fakemon, Pokemon stuff in general, the invite link is down below in the description, and I'd love to chat with you there. A quick PSA that these scribbles do not record well on Procreate, so I'd recommend pausing the video now, look at the scribble and see what you can see within it, and see if you got anything similar to me. I actually saw this duck-like shape with a singular leg. The idea behind this challenge is to introduce some randomness into your designs, so everything isn't so thought out and planned like my region actually is. Like I'd never think of a duck with one leg that looks like a ski, you know what I mean? Here's a scribble for its evolution. Again, pause it to have a think. What can you see in it? I saw a big fat duck with a bigger ski. So that's what I went with. So fast forward 6 years when I came to redesign these, and I just thought that I needed to introduce a bit more dynamicness, if that's a word, into these designs. So I wanted it to look like it was actually coming down a ski slope, for example, or in the case of its evolution, jumping over a ski jump. I looked at real world pictures of snowboarders and skiers just to try and translate that into this design. Really tried hard to think about where would its wings be placed, how would its body turn, how would it bend its leg to jump over this jump. And I think I actually nailed it with the dynamic design. I think it really conveys that sense of movement, much more than my other designs usually do. For the colours, I was really worried that it was going to imply the water type, which is why I tried to use cooler shades of blue, and especially that whiter shade of blue on top to imply the ice type. So now I'm messing around with some shading, which you might have noticed I never do in my artwork, because I don't think I'm good at it. And I would love your feedback if you think that this was worth my time or my effort. Do you think it adds anything to the design? Because I'm not so sure it does really. Introducing Skigull and Slamalard. I'll explain the names in a second. They're the shred Pokemon, both ice and flying types, with the ability Slush Rush. Skigull have incredibly good balance on their single foot. They glide gracefully across any icy surface. Despite Slamalard's plump body and thick feathers, they're surprisingly agile. When two Slamalards come into contact with each other, they can't help but race each other down the mountain. I've been really struggling to say Slamalard. It comes from slalom and mallard, like ducks. I've surprisingly fallen in love with these two, and in the future I might consider a redesign to even add them into the Greek-inspired region, because I've been struggling to think where ice types could fall into the region, but two ski or snowboarding Pokemon could fit into the theme of Winter Olympics. Now for the second evolution line. So pause your video here again. What can you see? I see a weird thing. I saw this seal puppy dog thing with love heart eyebrows apparently. And for its evolution, again, what can you see? I saw some kind of serpentine dragon-like body and expanded on those love hearts into fluff, or just to make it look a bit more feminine really. I was getting mythical and magical vibes from this pair, which is why I tried to make the first evolution fit that magical dragon theme a little bit more, while still keeping the sealed dog inspired look. I felt that giving it this pose would imply that it was floating in midair and link it a bit more to being draconic in its evolution. For the redraw of the evolution, I also wanted to add more movement to the design, to make it look like it was this big serpentine fairy dragon type that was looming over you in the sky. I actually think that although very different in nature, the two do flow well into one another, but let me know what you think down below. For the colour scheme, I stuck with the original colours that I picked in 2019. I just thought that they looked quite cute, I guess, and fairy-like. Again, I was messing around with shading here, so let me know what you think. I actually like the way it looks on the wings, but the rest I'm not sure. Introducing Saeraphlio and Faerulong, the Sky Dragon Pokemon. They're both fairy dragon types with the levitate ability. Saeraphlio flap their flippers to swim through clouds. They never stop moving and can often be seen performing complex acrobatic routines in the sky. Legends say Faerulong never truly lands, Its long body flows behind it as it glides through the sky. Stunning rainbows will bounce off its scales if the sunlight hits them at just the right angle. All in all, I think that the first stage is really cute and fun and has a lot of personality. I'm less happy with the evolution. I think it's quite generic looking really. I think it lacks its own personality and individuality. It could just pass as a Dragonair variant. So that's all the designs I made in 2019. So these new scribbles were made a couple of days ago, and I think any kind of talent I had from making Fakemon from scribbles ended in 2019 as well, because I found this very hard. Eventually, I managed to pick out this odd shape that I thought looked like teeth. It was giving beaver or rat, so I tried to pick out shapes in the second scribble that I could mash together to make some kind of rodent or mammalian Pokemon. When it came to redesigning the first stage, it might have been the body shape or the shape of the teeth, but I couldn't stop thinking of hammers. Sounds really odd now I say it, but you know the bit of the hammer that pulls the nail out of the wood? The teeth reminded me of that. Because I had this hammer idea in my head, I gave it 5 o'clock stubble and a big eyebrow to make it look like a builder. Now, prepare yourself for what I'm about to say. This change varies drastically from the start. I added a flipper. That's right, I changed it from a rat to a walrus. I just had this image in my head of it using these teeth to attack, and I thought the walrus was a much better design than what I'd originally come up with. I had this idea that it would almost pivot on those flippers to raise its head up, then slam it back down teeth first into its opponent. I don't know, it's a random idea, but this is a random challenge. Again, I was messing around with some shading here, so please let me know what you think. This is Bashwall and Wallhammer, the hammer-tooth Pokemon. They're both pure steel types with the reckless ability to power up that head smash move. Bashwall use their teeth like tools. They raise their heads up and slam down with incredible precision, chipping off chunks of rock with their teeth. Thanks to years of headbutting, Wallhammer's nose has become incredibly hard and heavy. This makes them very slow. It has the same teeth it had when it was a Bashwall, although these are now rounded and worn down thanks to years of chomping down. Bashwall is personally one of my favourite designs from this video. I think it's really cute and has a lot of personality. Who knows, maybe we'll see it again in the future. So here's a recap of all the designs that I made in this video and their process. So you'll have to let me know which one's your favourite. And do you like this idea? Should I do it again in the future? I think that it's a good challenge to come back to if I was in an art block again, because that's where the original designs from 2019 came from. But at the moment, luckily, I am not in an art jam and everything is flowing out my brain the way I want it to. Another reminder, go ahead and join the Discord because I showcase a lot of these designs in advance, and if that sounds like something you're interested in, you better join. So thank you all so much for watching. I'm not sure what next week's video will be. It's either going to be going back to the Greek region and looking at some new characters and one new Fakemon, or going back to the randomly generated sprite sheets. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next week. Bye!